Mammaw Erlene here with you again to start cooking for today's Sunday dinner. Today's menu is going to be Mostaccioli. I use a basic spaghetti sauce and our ingredients, there's not very many, so it's fairly easy to make. I make quite a bit of sauce because you can freeze it or have dinner with it tomorrow and use it on different types of pasta and mix it up. But we're going to use jarred spaghetti sauce, and I'll add some onion and garlic to that to doctor it up a little bit. Your ground beef, and I'm going to use today penne pasta. You can use any type of pasta you want, spaghetti. You can even use lasagna noodles and make a casserole out of it. Mostaccioli noodles, but any pasta will work, your favorite, of course. I'm going to get started on our pasta sauce, and we'll be back in a few minutes. I'm going to use some fresh garlic in my sauce. I love garlic. Ask my family. I always put 2 or 3 times more what you're supposed to put in a recipe. But the garlic clove, as you can see, it's covered by all this paper. I've cleaned this one off, and then when you kind of just use your fingers and it'll just kind of bristle off of there, and then you'll get down and you'll see your cloves. So then you just pull off a few of the cloves, and I'll probably use about 4 or 5. Even though the spaghetti sauce, the jarred sauce, has garlic in it. This really seasons up the meat nicely. And then I'll use my garlic press once I peel the skin off of the little cloves, and we'll press it into our sauce. Okay, we're going to start the sauce. Put about 3 pounds of ground chuck in our pan. We're going to salt it. I'm going to add a whole onion that I've chopped. Let that start browning. Then I've peeled my garlic. And by the way, it's called a bulb of garlic, and each individual piece is called the cloves. So if a recipe says 2 cloves of garlic, you want 2 of the little pieces. And I have about 5 here. You really want a good garlic press, heavy duty one. You just put the little garlic in there. That's a pretty good size one. And then you just squeeze and it comes out the bottom. Scrape it off the bottom. And then you'll have some residue in there, the skin. Just get rid of that. Now you can chop the garlic like this. You don't have to use the garlic press. You can chop it with a knife in fine pieces, and that works fine. You can slice it. You can put pieces in there whole. Garlic is really unique in that the way that you cut it, it has different, it's still garlic, but it can give you a stronger or a milder flavor. Pressing it like this gives you a pretty good full flavor. If the pieces are small, you can try to fit 2 in there at one time. We'll see if that'll work. Okay, we're just going to mix that all up and then let the meat brown. And we'll pour off all the liquid and add our sauce in a little bit. Okay, our ground chuck is cooked fully, so I'm going to add, I poured off the juice, excess liquid. I'm going to add our jarred sauce. Like I said, I make a pretty good amount of this, so I'm going to put 3 jars in. You can freeze this in small baggies and make another meal another night real quick. Okay, consistency looks really good to me. I'm gonna turn the heat down to a simmer, put our lid on, and let it cook for about 20 minutes. Now I'm gonna make some cheesy garlic biscuits. I have in my bowl 3 cups of baking mix, and I'm gonna add 2 teaspoons of granulated garlic, I think the recipe calls for like 1, but since I like garlic, it's going to get 2. I'm going to add 1 cup of milk. I'll stir that together before I add my cheese. And I'm not going to bother to roll these out and cut them. I'm just going to make drop biscuits. Okay, my mix was a little dry, so I'm going to add just a tad more water, maybe a couple of teaspoons at a time, until you can tell that it's all combining and sticking together. It'll all roll up into a ball. And you stir it, and that's coming together nicely. So I'm going to add my 1 cup of grated cheddar cheese. It's a full cup, a little more than a cup. More is better, I think. Mix that in. And I have my baking sheet, and I've sprayed it with some non-stick spray because I don't want these to stick. That cheese, if it hits that hot pan in the oven, it may stick. So those look good to me. You can see how it all just kind of balled up, so you know it's the right moisture content. And I'm just going to pull off and just set it on there. Nothing special. That's why they call it a drop biscuit. If you don't put your hands in there, you can use a spoon. Spoon it up and drop it onto the pan. I've got the oven on 400. These are ready to go in the oven. I'm going to bake them again at 400 degrees for about 11 to 12 minutes. Our cheesy garlic biscuits have come out of the oven, and I've melted about a half a stick of butter and added about a teaspoon of garlic powder, and I'm just going to pour a little bit over the biscuits, hot out of the oven. A little bit extra flavor. Keep stirring it so the garlic will stay mixed up. My grandkids will eat these up. There won't be any left. Okay, our water's almost boiling for our pasta, so the first thing I'm going to do is add a little salt to the water. It helps salt the pasta. It's hard to salt it afterwards. And a little tip that I do to keep the pasta from sticking, I'll put in just a dash of vegetable oil. I'm cooking 2 types of, it's still penne pasta, but 2 types, just the plain pasta. I'm using a tricolor pasta for myself and probably my granddaughter. I don't think my grandson would eat the tricolor. So you'll want to stir this every now and then just to make sure it's not sticking. You're going to boil it maybe 10 minutes or so to the consistency you prefer. If you want it well done or if you want it al dente. Okay, now we're going to build our Mostaccioli. I put some of the noodles on there, added the sauce, and sprinkled generously with mozzarella cheese. If the sauce and the noodles are hot enough, it'll melt. If not, you can put it in a microwave for about 30 seconds and melt it down. But I think this is going to melt nicely. Add a salad. You've got your biscuits. And Mammaw Mary made us a peach cobbler. Yum, yum.